And we're live. Right, okay, so I'll just have to wait until somebody comes in, whoever spots this first. But I thought I'd just do an off-the-cuff impromptu stream and catch up with you guys. So this is more for anyone who watches it on replay, because that's always the weird thing when you watch a replay, isn't it? No one's in the room, and then you're watching the replay and the person's just looking at their computer and just staring into space and not talking. But it's difficult to film dead air as well. So, and straight away, Christian in the house. How's it going, mate? That was fast, mate. I'm impressed. Bloody hell, I didn't think anyone would come in this quick. How's it going today? You all right? Luke, oi. Love it. Is it that bad? What? Tell me, without spoiling the film, tell me what's wrong with it. Although I might spoil it, I don't know. How's it going, Jack? You all right, mate? That's really good, actually. I'm glad the notifications come through that quickly, because I literally just clicked the button. So I'm getting the hang of this streaming thing now, I think. I hope I am, anyway. Of course, as usual, guys, if you've got any questions, just whack them in the chat and we'll just go for it like we normally do. Also, if you've got any suggestions for the name of this stream, because that's the best I could think of. So. Yeah, I want to see both of them, but yeah, I don't have high hopes for Uncharted. I think we've said that in most of the streams now, but yeah. I don't know. The more I'm seeing from it, the worse it's looking. And I've avoided any of the movie news sites as well, because I don't know anything about it. But yeah, I mean, the Spider-Man looks good. You see, this is the thing, and it's we are going to get to saturation point where people are going to get sick and tired of Tom Holland, and that's a shame, because I like Tom Holland. But if they start putting him in everything, I mean, my God, it never made sense. It doesn't make sense him being Nathan. It doesn't make sense that they put Mark Wahlberg as Sully. But until I see the actual film, maybe, I mean, Christian's made it clear that it's not that good. But we'll see. Indeed, it is, Luke. It's Pete's party hour. I like that. Yeah, well, actually, mate, that's pretty good. I don't know how can you change it on here? Oh, you can. Hang on. There we go. Boom. There you go. Done. I like that. We got a question. What's the Super Nintendo game you previously sold worth the biggest fortune now? And honestly, mate, I have no idea. I don't know what. I mean, the American stuff in particular, I've not checked the prices. I don't keep on top of it. I know PAL stuff's gone mad. I mean, I had Castlevania 4, which is a common game. And last time I checked in 2020, I think it was selling for 300 and 350. So that's a bit. What's that emoji? So is that a little party hat on the emoji? Nice. I like it. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I know at the time when I had the American collection, and I'm assuming it's still the same, that Peacekeepers was the expensive one, because I had that in mint condition, and that was just a hard game to find in box, never mind actually mint. So I don't really know at the moment, to be honest with you. I'm loving that though, Luke. That's really cool. I'm assuming it's hard to make out, but I think that's little party hats. That's really good. Christian's asking, did I play trading cards as a kid? Yu-Gi-Oh! No, that was way past me, mate. Yu-Gi-Oh! Christ, I'm too old for that stuff. But the only trading cards I had as a kid was Garbage Pail Kids. I used to get the bubble gum in the packet. I absolutely loved them. They were fantastic. But that's the only one I ever got into at the time. Lance Jennings in the house. How you doing, Lance? Over there in California. So it's good. I like trying. I thought it'd be a good idea to do it a bit later this week as well, because it might allow for people in other countries to come in as well. I'm hoping, especially in the States, because there's such a time difference. Jesus, Jack. You see, that's what I'm talking. I mean, I know that game's expensive anyway, but 200 for a car. I mean, that just, SNES prices, man. It don't get any better, does it? Anyone who would want to get into buying SNES now, and obviously there's a lot of people doing it because it's jacking the prices up the last 2 years. They must be crazy. Hey, mate, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, we're up to 7 people already. This is good. Is any of you guys collecting Super Nintendo? And if so, which ones you going Palo NTSC and how you're finding it? Also, Luke, I'm now going to have to come up with a decent thumbnail now. That's going to be a nightmare to design one of them tomorrow. I ain't doing what most YouTubers do, where you put a silly face and put yourself in the thumbnail either. So keep the questions coming, guys. Let's get this going. I think Super Nintendo is expensive. Try getting into Game Boy. Yeah, I've not looked at prices of that, but I know there's a lot of piracy that goes on with Game Boy stuff. So is that what affects the price? Obviously, are the boxes being as faked as the Super Nintendo boxes? Someone offered to say their complete PAL Super Nintendo collection, boxed and mint. Yeah, okay. Would you purchase if you knew you could make a good profit? To be honest, mate, if I got that kind of money, I probably wouldn't buy the collection. But if I was to buy it, I wouldn't do it just to sell it on either. I would definitely buy it to keep at that point. But yeah, I'd have to be pretty rich at the moment. Plus, to be honest, if I was going to do that, I'd buy the complete collection and sell the games I'm not interested in, because there's tons of games I don't care about, like the RPGs, for instance. Cheapest box copy was £900. Yeah, all right. People actually, well, people must be paying that. Yeah, I don't get that at all. Yeah, exactly. I never understood that. I don't get the whole grading thing and plastic prisons. Yeah, I mean, each to their own, but I just, never saw the point. Stick it in a box protector, stick it on the shelf and play it. That's the best way. By the way, what's the time in New Zealand? I don't even know what the time difference is. So it's 9:45 over at the moment at night. I'm assuming you're in front of me. Did anybody, by the way, has anyone seen Instagram tonight? Anybody who's into Evercade? They've just posted a really, really cryptic post for the next cart that's coming out. And it's got like some weird, like skeletal dude, and it's got a voice that I can't understand. I've got no idea what the hell it is. People are having all kinds of guesses in the comments. Do you ever regret letting go of your old games? Sometimes, yeah. I have. I mean, it wouldn't be natural not to have them, would it? But yeah, I do have the odd regret for some of the systems. Certainly Nintendo in particular, and not the PAL SNES. I wish I hadn't sold that stuff. I'd have kept it, but it was the right thing at the right time. Like always, I have to do what I have to do. But yeah, there are a couple of. I think, to be honest, probably like Super Nintendo is like the main one. Other than that, maybe the Xbox collection as well, because even though it's still cheap, to get it back now take a long time. One seal game. Haven't brought myself to open it. I Under Defeat. Nice. It's 11 in the morning on Saturday. Bloody hell! You are far ahead, aren't you? So you that's just over 12 hours, isn't it? Hello, Jason. I'm good, mate. Thank you. How are you? Not going to get a PS5. Stay with Nintendo Switch. 300 games at minimum. Jesus Christ, mate. Oh, well, that's fair play. I mean, that's the thing with the Switch. I could never get back into the Switch now. It's too late. the library is so huge. Yeah, that's why I want a system that I can start from day one. Because I mean, the Switch has been out what 5 years now. 2017, wasn't it? March 2017. So yeah, nearly into the 5th year. Bloody hell! So they must be getting ready for a new system soon. Do you own any Super Nintendo games now? And do you wish you kept from your childhood? I haven't got anything, mate. I've got no retro at all, apart from Black on the Xbox. That's all I've got. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm not sure if that's what it is. If it's a skeleton or Skeletor, so what the hell? What kind of arcade cartridge is that going to be? Anyone got any suggestions? Because I ain't got a clue. I mean, some people were saying, is it in television too? I think there's a He-Man game on the Intellivision or something, so maybe that's what they're doing. But that would be so bloody cryptic. I really don't know. Dad's in the house. Says again, mate. Now, I've known Dad for a long time. He's like one of the early YouTubers when I started. So that's going way back. Great guy. What's Jack saying? Don't collect Super Nintendo personally. Has started on the PlayStation. Great choice. And Summer Gen upwards. Yeah, it's still amazing me that PlayStation hasn't risen. The price is still really fair. Mainly by Platinum as tribute to the systems, but just bought Sudoku too. Is that right? Suikoden? Never really know how you say that. On PS1 for 195. Holy shit. All right, most PlayStation is cheap, but that ain't. That's the thing with PS1. I find that the majority of titles are really, really cheap still, and they're totally accessible. It's just the odd one that seems to go mad. Like for me, if I was getting into PlayStation 1 now, it's the only expensive games that I would want are Castlevania Chronicles and Jackie Chan Stuntmaster, and that's it really. And then down from that would be like Raiden, and then it's just everything else is dirt cheap. Oh, okay, you did mean Skeletor. Cool. Yeah, I'd love to know what they're doing next with that. Is that Harry Potter Deathly Hallows? Is that the one that's a third-person game? I don't know if it's a cover shooter of sorts, like with a wand, but I know they did a third-person game that's supposed to be really, really good. So if it is, yeah, I wouldn't mind checking those out. I haven't actually tried them. They're on 360, aren't they? Remember, aren't they? How's it going, Chuck? Thank you, mate. Man after my own heart, because you got the hat as well. So, and also Chuck, your favourite game as well. Do it right. Just like yours is, Daz. Both are blast from the past. Is there much difference between Black on PS2 and Xbox? To be honest, mate, I think I mentioned this like last week or the week before. I did have the PS2 version a couple of years ago, and I couldn't tell the difference. The only difference being is when I think when I captured some footage, was the framing was better, bigger on the Xbox, and I suppose if you put them side by side, two CRTs, maybe you might see a difference. I've got to assume that the Xbox has got better resolution, but I personally couldn't tell the difference. I'm sure there was not a high res mode, but I think it was 60 hertz mode or something on PS2. But yeah, I thought it looked great on PS2, to be honest. Controls really well as well. So either version's good. Oh, there's a good question. Jason asking, what TV show from the 80s? God, mate, loads. So if you're talking just TV, so like you say Airwolf, obviously. I love like Airwolf, Street Hawk, A-Team, Fall Guy. What else was in it? I'm trying to think what other ones were the 80s, because there was that and a lot of cartoons. Airwolf, Airwolf, Street Hawk, A-Team, Fall Guy, Knight Rider, obviously. Those are the main ones that I can think of. What else was there in the 80s? I need some comments here because I can't think of others. But those were some of my favourites. I think Street Hawk is really underrated. You never hear people talk about that one. Easy, mate. 100%. I haven't played every single one, but the ones I have played, Castlevania 4 all day long. I just prefer the fact that you can whip in any direction. I've always thought that makes the game more playable and gives you more options. The whipping in one direction thing gets on my tits, especially when you're playing like Dracula X. It drives me nuts. I haven't played Symphony of the Night, which I know everyone loves. I can't remember which one it was, 1 or 2 games on the DS. And I tried to play those bloody PS3 games, PS3, Xbox 360 games. I didn't like those at all. I thought they were crap. Have you ever owned an 80s or 90s arcade cab? I've never owned an arcade cab at all. I did build one, a main cab. Me and my dad did that years ago. And there's videos on my channel for that as well. But no, I've never actually got into arcades. I've always been tempted to, but it's the maintenance of them and the cost, obviously, and the storage. And yeah, I ain't really, I ain't got the room for them either, to be honest. Oh, mate. See, that's a tough one. Nostalgically, Final Fight. But I accept that Streets of Rage is a better game. It has better fighting mechanics. I've always preferred Streets of Rage because it feels like you're fighting people. Whereas Final Fight, you hit someone and the other guys just run off the side of the screen. Where Streets of Rage, it feels like you can like punch forward, swing around, punch the bloke behind you. If one of them grabs you, you can kick out. It's a lot more complex than I think Final Fight, but nostalgically Final Fight for me. And I played both of them back then. I played Final Fight on the arcade and the home versions, and I had a Mega Drive for a very short period of time just to play Streets of Rage. Again, I've not played a lot of Contra games. I've only played, in fact, what have I played? I've played Contra 3. Have I played any of the others? That's a good question, actually. I don't even know if I played the other Contra games. I don't think I played the PS1 game. And I have. Yeah, I played, of course. I played the original Contra, the NES game, which is absolutely brilliant. So really, if I was going to, the only ones I can think of are Contra and Contra 3, and it would be Contra 3 because it's just an incredible game, and always it was Super Pro Protector in the UK, and the nostalgia to that game, like the effects, the explosion with the plane comes over, and the end of the first level when that big monster comes through the wall, and then later on when you get the big skeleton, it tears the wall apart. What a game! I mean, just everything graphically, the music, the level design, superb. Yeah, was that 80s or was that 70s? I actually don't know. I'm not entirely sure about that, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if that was one of them that just sort of went over both decades. Okay, what we got? So, best cartoon out of Turtles, Transformers, and Thundercats. Turtles. I like all three of those, but Turtles. I'd probably put me in that order with Turtles, Transformers, and Thundercats. As much as I like Thundercats, I don't think it comes to the same level as Turtles and Transformers. And that's probably because Turtles and Transformers, like, everybody knows them. Like, even if you don't watch cartoons, everyone's aware of the Ninja Turtles and the Transformers. Whereas Thundercats is a lot more niche. I mean, I don't know if you can see them there. I've got like mask vehicles. Where's the Condor? There he is there. I absolutely love Mask, one of my favourite cartoons. I've got the full entire series over there that I still haven't got around to watching, which I need to do. Yeah, of course. MacGyver and Equalizer. I mean, Equalizer's that's obviously more of an adult show, but the Edward Woodward show was absolutely superb. I actually went back and watched a few episodes a couple of years ago. It's still pretty good. It's not too bad. It's aged all right. It's still incredibly watchable. Manimal, never even heard of that until about 3 years ago, I think it was, when I was watching. There's a guy on YouTube, an American guy, does a toy channel, and he does videos about cartoons and TV shows, and I think he talks about it. Nomad Lone Star, how you doing, mate? What would you say is the holy grail game you have or had? For me, it's Panzer Dragoon Saga for Saturn. Found a copy in Game Station in 2008 behind the glass cabinet for 90 quid. Nice. How much does that go for now? I know it's pricey. Holy grail for me, I mean, I have to go with games that I had like back in the day. And there was a couple. I mean, one I never got was Space Mega Force for Super Nintendo US, which is Super Lest. I did finally get the PAL version, which was fantastic, but I never got the American version, unfortunately. I did manage to get a couple that I wanted. I wanted King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, and Peacekeepers. I managed to get all three of those. I also got, R-Type 3 was another one I wanted for ages. And I eventually got a ridiculously, I think I paid 60 quid for that, all in delivered or something. It was so cheap. I was well chuffed with that. And it come mint as well. I remember doing the videos. I've gone back and watched them. And there was a couple of videos where I was like, I'll wait for it to come. It took like a month to come. I ordered it off a random guy on Amazon in America, and I thought it had gotten lost or it hadn't been sent. And then one day it just popped up, and the video was great when I unboxed that one. It's nice to occasionally buy a special game for a system you like. He originally wanted 250, but got it for 195, so I must have wanted to sell. Yeah, you did well there, mate. Really wanted Symphony of the Night, but it's over 300. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That game, man, I don't understand how it just keeps going up in price. Crazy. Good question, mate. Do you see yourself buying another Super Nintendo one day? Love watching your old pickup videos with Nintendo. Retro Dave is a top bloke. He's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you watching the videos as well. I would love to one day. Just unfortunately, the price now, if I'm going to do it, it's going to be Super Famicom as well, because as much as I would like to get another PAL set, I mean, American, forget it. There's no way I could do American, not with the cost of importing there. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, even, yeah, I mean, the PAL stuff, so as long as you don't buy European games, because then you've got import tax as well. But PAL would be ideal, but Japanese Super Famicom is, I haven't checked in ages, but I've got to assume the prices haven't really fluctuated. They tend to stay pretty reasonable. But yeah, I'm never saying never on that one, because, you know, I may find myself in a position to do it one day, hopefully. Thank you. Thanks, Chuck. It was indeed late 70s, early to mid 80s. I thought it crossed the two. You know what, mate? I don't think I might have played pinball when I was younger. It's never been a thing. My dad loves the pinball machines. He grew up with that kind of thing in the arcades and the pubs and whatnot, but it was never something I was interested in, which is probably a good thing, because I'd have like a house full of bloody pinball machines. So, bloody hell, I just noticed we've got 22 people in the chat. That's a really hard question to ask off the cuff, mate. Favourite twist in a game or movie? In a movie, I mean, Christ, I can't even think. I'll be off the top of my head. Game-wise, I can't even think of any games that got twists in them, to be honest with you. Films, though, that's a really hard question. I'll have a think about it, see if I can think of one. Good question. Do you like Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen? I like the fact, Christian, he didn't put the third one in there. Is that because you don't like the third one? Or is it Angel Has Fallen? Because I like Olympus Has Fallen. It's directed by my favourite director, whose name's just blanked. God damn it, Antoine Fuqua. I absolutely love that guy. I've got nearly all of his films now on Blu-ray. The only one I can't get at the moment is Infinite, because bloody Infinite's not available in the UK. It's only in the US. It pisses me off. I want that film. It's great. But yeah, I really liked Olympus Has Fallen a lot. I thought it was great. But London Has Fallen has become my favorite, and it's like the corniest of all three. It's really dumb, but the script isn't great. Some of the dialogue is terrible, but I just love that film. There's just something about it. It's really fun, especially when it all kicks off at the beginning, and they're like racing through London in the car, and there's like motorbikes and just guns going off. And then you've got that really amazing part at the end when it goes all video gaming. It's all like third-person cover shooter. It's only like a short section when they're going down an alleyway, but I watched them film that afterwards. It's incredible. Angel Has Fallen, I watched that at the cinema. I really liked it at cinema, but I've watched it several times now on Amazon. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is about the film. It doesn't work for me at all. I can't get into it. I like the bit in the forest with his dad. That was really cool. And the big gun battle at the end is absolutely outstanding. One of the best they've done. But I just can't get on with it. And apparently they're talking, well, they've been talking for a while apparently, about doing another film and a TV show. And I don't know if maybe it's best to just make a TV show now, just take it that route. But yeah, London Has Fallen is my favourite. It's just because it's so ridiculous. Keith in the house. How's it going, Keith? Fuck's sake. Keith, give it a rest with the bloody Stevie Wonder thing. Who would make the best lead character in an Amico game? Pingu, because it's a throwback. That'd be a retro reimagined. Thanks, Nat. You always seem to like things that everyone else hates. Yeah, apparently, yeah. It's so frequent that it's a bit strange. Do you have an explanation for this phenomenon? I wish I knew, mate. I don't know. But, I tell it like I see it. If I like something, as you've been watching me a while, you'll probably know I'll make it clear that I like it. And I really don't give a shit if no one else likes it. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean, I don't understand why some people feel the need to tell me I'm wrong. It's like, you can talk to me like you guys do, and you can have a bit of banter and a bit of fun with it. But there's some people out there who just don't know how to do that. And they have to tell you constantly that you're wrong. And it's like, I don't understand all that fanboy crap. It's really weird. But yeah, it is strange, isn't it? I mean, 3DS, Wii U, although 3DS, to be fair, did well, but at the beginning, I don't think it got much luck in because everyone's moaning about the bloody 3D, which is weird because the 3D is amazing. The Wii U didn't do well. The Xbox One got panned, and I was all over that. Now, obviously, Amico, that's getting a bit of a rough ride, but ride the storm. Yeah, you're probably right there, mate, to be honest. Never say never. Although I am a lot better than I used to be. I don't just reverse course very quickly now. It takes me a long time. You know what? That's funny. I've never owned a Power Glove. And when I had my NES, I've had a few NESs. And normally that would be something I would try and get, but I never got around to getting one of those. I only really got like the Zapper gun, and I can't remember what it's called now. That gamepad, that one with the big handles on it and the funky D-pad, which is actually pretty good. I can't remember what it's called there. Okay, why does Combat Shadow of the Tomb Raider feel worse than 20? Yeah, good question. When you use one attack, when you use the axe side to attack, doesn't even have sound and hit the text. I haven't played it for a couple of years, but it's very underwhelming. I didn't find it as underwhelming as Rise of the Tomb Raider. I thought that film's a game of two halves. That game is a game of two halves. It starts off strong and it just gets boring, I found. And then Rise, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was sort of like a half-assed attempt to get back to 2013. But I don't think that either of those sequels is a patch on the 2013 game. I don't understand why they can't make another 2013. I think they listen to the fans too much, and there's too much pushback saying, "Oh, it needs more Tomb Raider. There's not enough of it, and there's too much. It's too much an action game." Which I get if you're an old school Tomb Raider fan, but things do have to change as well sometimes. I mean, I've been trying to play Splinter Cell Blacklist, which touts itself as a Splinter Cell game that you can stealth or just go in and murder everybody. And I thought, great, I can finally play a Splinter Cell game. But it ain't that simple because there's a lot of side missions that pop up and you have to do stealth only, which kind of defeats the point of the bloody game. And yeah, it's all right. And even the action stuff, I find it a bit, it's not that great. Right, I thought as much, mate. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I try and like that film because it's got the drone bit at the beginning as well. The drone bit at the beginning, the forest with his dad, the big gun battle at the end. I should really like it, but it's just something that doesn't work with that film, and I can't figure out what it is. London is. Which one's your favourite, by the way? London's just so much better. Hey Ben, how's it going, mate? Shemuzo, if you want to like Britney Spears, then you just go ahead. Well, exactly, mate, and that's the point. And I don't give a shit. I make no bones about it. I'm a huge Britney Spears fan, and it's a good thing about getting older. You don't care when you get older. There's none of this like, oh, it's my guilty pleasure and all that bullshit. It's just like, I like it. It's no big deal. Not yet, mate. We were just talking about this a minute ago, and I think it was Christian was saying it's not that great. If you've seen it, well, I'd like to get your thoughts, mate, without any spoilers, obviously, especially on Tom Holland. Jack, I admire you standing up for what you like and believing. Thanks, mate. I've always been scared of what people think about me, which I know I shouldn't be, but I can't shake, mate. I get it. I mean, most people are, unfortunately, especially in this society now. I mean, Christ, it is a case that people feel they have to agree a lot with one side or the other, and you don't. You just, if you think it and you believe it, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what other people think. At the end of the day, if you like something that other people don't, and they pile on you, you've got two options. You either say bollocks to them and carry on, or you just go quiet and don't or go along with the crowd. Which, what's the point of that, really? I know it's difficult. I mean, sometimes it's easier to just go, yeah, okay, and agree with people. But I think, if you like something a lot and you've got a lot of passion for it, what we'll do, we do all this YouTube stuff and Instagram and all the other social medias. Just, put yourself out there. That's the way I look at it. Share your love, because you will find that there are a ton of other people who agree with you that like the same thing that you like as well. And as much as it's nice to have a discourse where you're talking both sides of the argument and all that crap that people go on about, it's also just great to have a bunch of friends who like the same thing that you do, and you can just bounce off each other and talk about, You know, whether it's a bit of music you like, a band or an artist. You know, you talk about your favorite albums or favorite gigs, or your films that you like that people don't like, a series of films. Like, say you're into those Resident Evil films that with Mila Jovovich, however you say it, and you know you want to talk about those, and most people think those are crap. Or games and consoles, just just be proud about what you like and don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. Yeah, it takes a long time. It took me a long time as a teenager to realise that. In my 20s and that, I started not caring. And in my 20s, I got into heavy metal. When you get into the heavy metal scene, you really don't give a toss. And you saw the way I used to dress back then as well. No one, but there's no way I could have cared what people thought of me. I wouldn't have gone out of the house. Yeah, absolutely. I agree in that. I think that's what I think. As I said, it's just sometimes easier to go along with the people around you. You know, especially if you're like in a work situation or social situation. You know, you don't want to be the one person going, well, actually, I disagree with that. And especially these days, because people just go mental. So, thanks. Cheers, Ben. I mean, Ben is a prime example of a man who doesn't give a toss. He says exactly what he thinks. He's a strong-minded person. You know, me and Ben don't agree on a lot of things in certain sectors, but we always get along well because he's an adult, so I can have a conversation with him. I listened to you talk about original Medal of Honor on PS1 on previous video. That was one of my favorite games. Had a unique feel. Yeah, it's a fantastic game, mate. I love it. It's still obviously graphically doesn't hold up as well, but I still feel that the gameplay and the sound design, the level design, they're all really solid. It's still a really, really fun game to play. And the second one really surprised me, Underground. When I completed that 2 years ago, I couldn't believe how good that game is. You know, I mean, the graphics are slightly better as well, so they age a bit nicer. But I just love the campaign. I thought the campaign was excellent. That's really cool. I mean, there is something about that 2013 game. It's just so well done. And other than like the odd character that annoyed me, I couldn't really find issue with it. And it is, you're absolutely right. It's one of them that just makes you want to deep dive on it. It's a fantastic game. I played it so many times now. I hope when they eventually reboot Tomb Raider again, they continue to do an action game and they don't just go full on like Tomb Raider and make it stealthy and boring. I don't think I did, Dash, to be honest, mate. Any favourite childhood toys? There was, I was thinking about this the other day. There was a thing, I don't know what it was called. It was like a little ball and it had like an evil face on it. I think it was green. I don't know what the hell it was. And there was like this slime stuff that used to put on the walls and the doors and it just climbed down. I don't know what that was either. But favourite toys, I mean, back then, I mean, you can't, the main thing I was my Commodore 64 and my Commodore Amiga, which are not really toys. I used to have guns. Like, I remember I had this massive plastic gun and it fired like big rockets. Like, you stick them in the end and blast them across the room. That was great. Sky Electric as well. That was another one I had. I remember getting a Sky Electric for Christmas. Mum and Dad hid it under the table, so I didn't know it was there in the dining room. I think I opened all my other presents, and then I found that one under the dining table, and that was just amazing. I love Sky Electric. What else did I get? Because most of my Christmas was really like electronics more than it was toys. But yeah, that's what I can think of anyway. Oh, cool. Thanks, Christian. Do you like Olympus best, but London is super close. Yeah, they're both great films. I just feel that London is just, because it's a bit corny, has that extra. That I don't know what it's just like some of the dialogue. I can't think what the dialogue is now. There's a bit in the train station in the tube when he kills the one bloke and he says something to him, and I was just cracking up laughing. And then there's like a joke that he makes in the MI6 safe house about the president when he yeah, I'm not going to say it because I'll get cancelled, but I thought it was a funny joke when he enters the room. So, but yeah, it's a really good film. And that bit at the end when he's running up the alleyway, I love watching that part. That's one of those go-to films when it's like, I don't know what to watch. I can't find anything on streaming. I just grab the Blu-ray and watch London Has Fallen. Oh, there we go. Okay, this is a good one. So Christian's asking about Taken. So how about Taken 1, 2, and 3 was terrible? Taken is the only good film, or only excellent film, should I say. Taken 2 is shite. It's just so, when she's running around Paris throwing grenades around, I was like, come on, you're losing me now. This is not, I don't expect this film to be realistic, but Come on. Number 3, I actually didn't think number 3. Remember rightly, number 3's got Teabag in it. I can't remember what the actor's called, but if you've ever watched Prison Break, Teabag, I like that actor. I think he plays the villain. I didn't think number 3 was that bad, so I'm the opposite to you, mate. Here we go again. I'm just going to be against the grain. And oh, hang on. Nice one, Rob. So you've seen Uncharted, brilliant. Fun but flawed. Tom Holland had the physicality, but yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me at all. Great chemistry between him and Mark. Well, that's good. What do you think of Sully? Does it work? Because that looked weird in the trailer. And also, does you and Christian, because you've both seen it, the way they've written it, does it make sense that he's as young as he is in this film? And because it just looked odd in the trailer, it didn't make sense that Tom Holland was used because he's so young. And you've got a young Sully, and then the stories are mixing all the stories from the games. It looked weird, but I avoided going to see it just because we just shouldn't do that. Really, just go and watch it, I suppose. I think it's still on as well. Action figures from back in the day. I don't have anything from back in the day, mate. And like most people, all my stuff either got thrown out or sold on. To be honest with you, so I mean, like the stuff here, but I mean, at one point, like the mask stuff, years ago, I was tempted to get into mask figures. But then again, it's like all collecting. It's then, do you buy them loose and not care, or do you have them in the box and it costs you a fortune? It's not worth it. Relic Gamer in the house. How's it going, mate? Nice to see you on here. Another great guy from over in America. So that's the important question. What is your favourite beer? It depends what I can get. I mean, normally it's Foster's. That's the one I go for. I really love a Foster's. I like a bit of Amstel. That's not too bad. Actually, the other day I went out and had a meal, and there was they only had Carlin, which is shite, and Carlsberg, which is never that great. But I had a on draft Carlsberg, and it was one of the best Carlsberg I've ever had in my life. I've never had it taste that nice. I was actually shocked. It had a real nice like tang to it. It was lovely. Now you're taking the piss. No, not Jesus Christ, no. I'm still sticking with Harry Potter on that one. Daniel Radcliffe. I've been ever since I said that the other week. The more I think about it, I think Daniel Radcliffe is the complete and utter outsider that no one's thinking about, and it'd be a really interesting take on James Bond. Yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider played better second time round. Recommend. Rob, I've played it. Christ, I don't even know how many times now. I don't think I've completed it more than once or twice. I think most of the time I tend to get bored about halfway through or a bit further. It's especially that bit later on where there's the one puzzle which you're in like an ice area and there's like counterweights or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, it got on my tits, that is. I like all the beginning stuff when you're going through the forest. That's brilliant, and the bit with the bear and all that, fantastic. But I think it's when you get to that bit, not long after that, there's like a big expansive area and like mountains around you, and you have to go from one side to the other. And there's a bloke who's been injured, and you can go up in the caves and you can do something to help him. I don't know. There's just something about it. It's better than bloody Shadow. I'll give it that. Just about, I think. Super Nintendo, hence the channel name, always. But I've got a couple, but Super Nintendo by far none is the best console of all time. That's interesting. Is that the one that's on handheld? I know there's like a Turtles in Time style game that came out called TMNT, which I think Champion 2D Rob talked about in one of his videos years ago, which looked really cool. Shit, what was that? Combat was what game is that? No, I've forgotten. I've gone so far down the list. I didn't know Wahlberg was 50, but then again, that makes sense because he was Marky Mark back in the day. So, yeah. That's a point. Keith, don't ask questions like that. You get me in trouble. Hey, another Brummy in the house. How's it going, Ben? Born in '83, so 6 years younger than me. Sometimes reminisce about 90s culture. Yes, I do, mate. Same. 90s always, for me, obviously, I think I've always thought that most human beings is like the teenage years are the ones that you reminisce about the most. And I was a teen in the 90s, and 90s for me is like the music, the films, the video games, all the different consoles. There was such variety. I mean, music had ridiculous variety from, rave to pop music to the Brit pop movement to the American hip hop, the American R&B stuff that's coming through, all the Ibiza dance stuff, the Euro dance, which I love Euro dance. There was just so much stuff going on. And then films, there was, obviously loads of classics in the 90s, Terminator 2, Jurassic Park for good examples. But yeah, I always think and also it's pre-internet and all, and it was, until like the late 90s when the internet started creeping in more. I just missed that pre-internet era. As much as all this is fantastic and it can be really for good, there's a lot of stuff that I think sometimes we're better off when we weren't connected to the world. Yeah, I've never been a fan, but that one the other day surprised me. I was really shocked how nice it was. Maybe it's because I used to drink it out of a can when I was younger, and that's probably why I don't like it. Great question, mate. Favorite chip shop choice? Well, obviously cod and chips to start with, because and curry sauce to go with that, because that has to be done. If I was younger and I was on the piss, then it's big ass kebab, proper doner kebab, and it usually be about 1 o'clock in the morning, so it'd be a full on doner kebab, all the salad, because why not? You can't see your kebab and the salad goes everywhere, but what the hell? And then I'd have like the chili sauce, the mint sauce, and the mayonnaise. Just have it all whacked on. But the problem is when you're pissed out your mind and you ask for that, I tend to go mad with the chili sauce just to kill you deliberately. But also, I love a saveloy. You can't beat that. And I love a pickled egg as well. So I'm not really fussy, to be quite honest. Oh, and mushy peas as well, of course. Tomb Raider 2013, proper epic. Absolutely. Radio Tower, exactly. Waterfall, parachute, the gondola, the shantytown. The shantytown, I love the much of the shantytown pisses me off because I tend to die quite a bit playing that part. You have to really be on your toes with that. You can't just sit around. The Only, yeah. Burning Palace, yeah. The Burning Palace is really cool. Yeah, Vice is just churches and pears. You're right, mate. When you put it like that, that's a really great point. There's so much in that first game. It's just, oh man, yeah. It's like, what's the name of the archaeologist, like the TV guy who sells you out? I can't think what his name. When that happened, I was like, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I love that game. I need to play that again. Actually, I've not played it in fact, I think I haven't played it for a couple of years now, which is unusual for me. Marky Mark's puts on the word. I must have seen that at the time. I have to look that up on YouTube. Because normally all you ever get on these TV shows now, they all show Shabba Ranks because they want to slag off Shabba Ranks. Can't even say it. They all show Nirvana as well, and there was that female rock group and all who took her knickers off. I can't remember what that was called. The word was great though. So that's another thing. 90s throwback again. Rob saying, so hang on, scroll down because I can't see it. Tom's playing 25, which is about his age. Right, okay. Original story. They took bits from Uncharted 3 and 4. Yeah, because they got the bit on the trailer that comes out the back of the plane, and I was like, but they're talking about the story with the ship from number 4. It's confused me. Wahlberg just playing himself. Well, I actually like Wahlberg. I think Wahlberg, in the right role, he can be really good. Like, especially in a military role. If you put him in a military role, he seems to absolutely excel for some reason. I did grow a lot of power by the end of the film. Okay. So it's not a write-off is the main thing. So I might get something out of it. that's the important part, really. Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, the GBA game, that's it. I thought it was. Excellent. I've actually got a DS, so I can play that as well, which is cool. How much is a box copy, and does it get pirated, or should I just buy a cartridge? Okay, where did you come up with this shit, man? What is your favourite fit? I couldn't even. Was it? Is it Fiat Punto? Is about the only one I can think of. I don't even know any. I know bugger all about cars, mate. You're asking the wrong bloke for that. I've never had cheesy chips, but I like the sound of it. And chips and gravy, marriage made in heaven, that is. I always have gravy on my chips. Not from a chippy like when I'm at home. I love that. Local kebab has chili sauce label government warning. Why has it got a government warning? Is it that hot, or are you just taking the piss? I'm not sure. That was mad. Yes, mate, I am. I love a bit of GTA. You can't go wrong with that at all. GTA 3 and GTA 4, probably my two favourites. Number 4 being my absolute favourite. I love that whole thing with Nico Bellic. That's the only GTA game I've actually played through all the way through from beginning to end multiple times. I don't know how many times I actually played through it, but I love that game. It's so funny, so brilliant, but then so poignant at the end when you're on the island on your own and you got your little New York jumper on. But yeah, I weirdly I was thinking about GTA 4 the other day because there's certain missions that I remember how I tackled those missions, and then like I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but Dara O'Brien, the comedian, he did a brilliant thing years ago, and he's talking about that mission where you got to drive across town to get to the train station to kill the bloke, and it was driving him insane. I was like, yeah, I can totally relate to that. Hello, mate. Not bad at all. Thank you very much. Hope you're well. Yes, I have actually. I won't say where or when or what I did, but yes, I have, and it's not the best job in the world, mate. Let's put it that way. Yeah, you're probably right. He did, didn't he? And I know who I'd prefer to do military roles. It's Marky Mark. Yeah, and I think about like Lone Survivor or was it Patriots game or Patriot game? That film was excellent, man. He did a great job in that. Lone Survivor was phenomenal. And one of my favourites is Shooter, the Antoine Fuqua movie. It's when I first found out about Antoine Fuqua. As I say, he's my absolute favourite director. Other than King Arthur, I've got all these films, and I just need to get Infinite, if we ever get Infinite released in this country, which I hope we do. Because has anyone seen Infinite, by the way? It's on Amazon. I really like that film a lot. I mean, it's a very Highlandery film, but it's really fun. I've watched it a couple of times now. Oh, the chili sauce. Okay, is that Jacinda Ardern's idea? Or because I think you got a coalition, haven't you, of parties? I'd love to know why that is. That's really weird. So favourites, GTA, Vice City, 3 and 4. Fair play, mate. I don't like Vice City myself because I don't like the whole 80s aesthetic. I know people love that. My best mate, Vice City, is his favourite, but you know, when those games came out, it was all about San Andreas for me once number 3 had been out, because I was a 90s hip hop guy. I was into Death Row Records. So, but now, I mean, by far number 4 is the best. I absolutely love number 4. I still like the PS1 games. They're the top down. I think they're quite fun. Yeah, it's so true. It really, yeah. Number 5, you know, you say that. Number 5, I hated number 5 for a long time. When it came out, I played it, and there was a mission where you have to drive over to this building, and you park up, and there's a bloke on. I didn't know where he was. I could never figure out how to find this bloke to kill him, and it done my nut. It's on a timer, and I just couldn't do it, and I ended up giving up and just sacked the game off. And then a couple of years ago, I bought a PS3 Slim, and it came with GTA 5. So I thought, I'll just give it another try. See if, because I thought it might be just my mood and I was having a shit day and I didn't do well. And I played it and I did it first time, and all it was, there's a guy on one of those window cleaning like carriage things, and he's up high. And I didn't realise. All you got to do is just look up with a sniper rifle and shoot him. So it's so annoying when that happens. That's a great question. GTA or Saints Row? I would say GTA. I mean, I like Saints Row. I love the first game. And I like number 2. Number 3 was decent. But then I started to lose a bit of interest because they're just repeating themselves doing the same comedy stuff. Whereas like the first game was trying to be like GTA. The first game could actually do a remaster because I played that last year, I think it was. And graphically it's a bit rough. But it's still fun though. But I like number 2 a lot because number 2 was just ridiculous. I had like a bloke wearing like a pink dress, and he had like bunches, and he was just running around. And you could do that thing where you got I can't remember what they call it, like a taunt or something, and he'd tell people to F off, and like that was great. I love that. And it was like the one they had. You had 2 taunts, and the one I used to always have was he was like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you." So it was really funny. Thanks, Rob. Boss copy of TMNT might be a bit pricey. I thought as much. GBA Games Complete gone up in recent years. I'll just get a cartridge in. That's probably the best solution, I think. That's a good question, actually, Keith. Well done. Ever loved the game and then grew to hate it? I don't think I have, to be honest. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's I can't think of anything off the top of my head, because normally I just like a game or don't like a game. But I've never loved the game and hated. I don't think there's probably any games I've hated either and gone back and thought, oh, actually, this is pretty decent. I might be wrong on that. Oh, was it? Okay. So does that mean Jacinda's in full power now then? I thought you were still in the coalition. See, that's how much I don't pay attention anymore. So. Bloody hell, I've got 29 in the chat. What's going on? Do you think you'll collect again for SNES? I've had my issues with collecting and what it does to the mind. It certainly does, mate. And found your vids very helpful. Thank you, Jack. Just wondered if you could do it again psychologically. I mean, I was asked this earlier as well. And yeah, I think if the chance came about and I had the money and I was in a position where I could just buy them on the regular and not just, buy one every couple of months or so. If I could just keep buying them and but only like buy 1 or 2 a month, don't go mad. Although it'd probably be 1 a month for the price of the games now. Yeah. I mean, I'd never say never on that, because I would absolutely love one day to have a Super Nintendo collection again. If I don't have anything else, that would be the one, because it's all right having my Wii and playing them on emulation. It's all very nice, and I've got them on the I've got Super Double Dragon and Chaos Engine on the Evercade, which is great. That really helps me right now. It stops me buying games, but yeah, it would be nice, Evening Blooders. I don't know, because I don't live in Birmingham anymore, mate. I haven't for a long, long time. I moved out of there back in 2008. So I live down in the southwest now, which is where the storm is hitting. And it was not good this morning. I'm listening at the moment. And it seems like it's calming down, slightly slowed down a little bit. It must have been like 90 miles an hour this morning or something. It's ridiculous. I think they said earlier in the day it was going down to like 80, 60, between 60 and 80. Thank God. But yeah, it was bloody brutal this morning. What is the most expensive Super Nintendo related item I've purchased? Off the top of my head, I have no idea. That's a great question. I mean, it'd have to be a game. And I don't remember how much I spent on most of the games. It's that long ago. But I know that I think I paid a fair amount for Peacekeepers. I'm thinking 120. I'm not certain there. They're around that price. But I mean, that was a good price at the time as well, because that game was really hard to come by. It's actually not a bad game either. It's pretty decent. Jesus, there's a question, Keith. What is the best way to get into video games? That is, for someone who's a complete novice, is a great question. His wife to be, Jo, did a brilliant. They was doing a great series on their channel where Jo was learning to play games, and that is the ultimate question of where do you start? What game is the best one to get into? Because really, I mean, obviously you can go with the Mario, but because obviously you learn a lot behind a Mario game about when to jump on things, when to hit blocks, how to time the speed as you jump over gaps and all this kind of stuff. But I think if you're gonna, I would probably say really you want something like Tetris or something simple, something you can just, especially nowadays with people playing a lot of puzzle games on their tablets and whatnot. Something like Tetris is a lot more comparative, and they probably find it easier to jump into. But I think the most important thing is that they need something simple with less buttons, because if you try and give a non-gamer an Xbox or PlayStation controller, forget it. I've tried it, and trust me, it's hard. And just, explaining what the second stick does with the camera, that's a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that they're probably aged roughly. I just like the way they look, the top down look. I think that's really cool. And you get the Happy Krishnas and all that. There's just something really fun about the original games. But yeah, I mean, obviously controls wise, they might not be the greatest. Oh, what? Just for that's GTA 5. You're talking. What's V? I was thinking of the TV show. Yeah, of course. The number 5 let you skip missions if you failed them. Did it? Oh shit! I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. There's only so much I will do. I'll get to a point if I can't do it. If that's available, I'll probably take the option because yeah, I can't be sitting there getting frustrated. I was playing Medal of Honor Airborne the other day, and I'm right at the end of the game, and I've done it many times, but I just couldn't get. You got to get to the plunger, and you got these Nazis with bloody big miniguns, and it was just doing my nutting because it was like you shoot one, you think, oh, that's okay, then you get two, then you get three, and it's like, oh, come on, let me just get to the end of the game. It was really irritating. As a huge classics Tomb Raider fan, it was incredible to see how they did the dual pistols in 2013. Yeah, I love that. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it, but that was really cool. Love that Roth had. That's it, Roth. Yeah, Roth's the old. I love that old guy. That bit when he's like on the ground when really early in the game and you have to climb up that rock. So cool. Love that Roth had them, and then when the thing happens, they do close up on the pistols. Yeah, I must admit that was brilliant. Just everything about that game is. It's near enough a perfect game, I think. You know, I think the actual game itself, the gameplay and the level design is perfect. It's just the story, and as far as some characters are quite annoying, it's still got a bit of that like Xbox PS2 era of acting. Not all of it, but just some of it. Bloody hell, mate, that's a bargain. 35 quid. Yeah, you did well there. Is that in the box or is that on loose? Because I mean, eBay at the moment, you're talking a lot more than bloody 35 quid. You're right, I did, didn't I? I never, I don't know if even thought about it when I was playing those games, but yeah. Great question. I did, Rob. I did have a Saturn. Yeah, I mean, if I ever get back into collecting properly, I must admit it would be tempting. And also, Rob posted his video recently of his pickups. It was Rob, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. Sorry, Rob. It was the other Rob. It was Essex Retro. He did a room tour, and he was talking about Chase HQ on the Saturn in Japan, which I didn't know existed. And I looked at some gameplay, and I was like, that looks really good. Then I saw the price, and I thought, okay, I'm never owning that game. Yeah, I must admit. I mean, I like the Shinobi game on Shinobi X. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I've got videos on my channel from way back when I got one. There was a guy called Joe Beebe used to be on YouTube a long, long time ago. And I bought a Saturn from him, a PAL one. And then I had a Japanese white Saturn as well. So yeah, I like the Saturn. I think it's a pretty cool system. Considering like yourself, Rob, I never had one back then either. So it was really interesting to check out the games, because especially the Japanese market. I mean, there's absolutely tons. Saints Row 2, excellent game, masterpiece. Played and finished. Yeah, it's really, really funny. I think that was, out of all the ones they did with the humour, I think number 2 was the best one they did. Best game from the 2000s, Black, easily 2006. But it's too hard, man. The 2000s, I mean, you've got that, you've got Condemned, Call of Duty 2, and there's probably a lot more than I forget. Halo, obviously Halo. Jesus, what was I thinking? Dead or Alive 3, Rally Sport Challenge, Cold Winter. You've always got to put Cold Winter in there. It's a great game. Yeah, and then you've got what else? You got Rise of the oh crap, Resistance Fallen Man. It's aged terribly. It looks bloody awful now, but at the time, I absolutely love that game, even though it's ridiculously hard. But what a game! Never. I hope to God that never happens. Apparently, monkeys are getting more intelligent, which is a bit worrying. Apparently, they've started using tools to fish. So we'll probably never see it happen, but it might happen one day. Yes, I had an Xbox One day one, mate. In fact, I had the day one edition back then. I really like the Xbox One. I mean, the exclusives are non-existent. There was this, some good ones like Sunset Overdrive and Rise, but it was so lacking. It was really. And Gears of War 4 was fantastic. I've got Gears 5 sitting there sealed. You can't see it's behind the chair next to Black. So if I ever get an Xbox again, I will be playing that game because I want to know what happened. But yeah, I thought it was great. The one thing I loved about Xbox when I first got my Xbox One was Kinect. weirdly, and only for the voice commands. I remember sitting there playing Rise, Son of Rome, and being able to use voice commands, and it actually worked without having to repeat myself. I was really impressed with that. And also, when you watch a film on Blu-ray and you can use Connect to put to play and pause, I use that all the time. It was so cool. I know Connect gets shit on, but the potential to connect, and I still gutted that Peter Molyneux thing with Milo never happened. I know it was a complete farce, but that would have been. Imagine if they're going to be able to do that now. They're going to be at the point where technology can do that. I would absolutely love something like that to happen. I mean, it's a bit creepy, but I don't know. It just would have been really fun. So Rob's asking, which Super Nintendo game do you think is overdue a remake? Oh, bloody hell, mate. Castlevania 4, absolutely. I would love to have like a modern, not a pixel art as well, by the way, but like, I know it'll piss a lot of people off, but I would love to see like a modern hand-drawn art style or something cartoony. Just really modernized Castlevania 4. I would love to see that happen. Or Super Pro Protector. But if I'm trying to think of all the games I owned, what would be one that would be? I mean, obviously Starwing or Star Fox. That could definitely do remastering because, I mean, Christ's sake, as much as I love the game, I can see that the graphics would look better now. So yeah, that would probably be one actually. But yeah, Castlevania 4. Why haven't they done that? And Drac X as well. Just do both at the same time actually. I actually don't, mate, because I sent it back. I literally had it for a couple of weeks and sent it back to Amazon because I thought the emulation was shite at the time. But remember, I was in the mindset of CRTs and collecting as well, so that probably played a part as well. But I wasn't very impressed with it at all. Dan, do you bother with achievements? And I struggle with impulse control and fixation as part of my autism, but I'm always fascinated to learn differences between us. I don't, mate. I've never, it's something I always hear people talking about achievements and trophies. It never caught my attention. I'm glad it didn't because I know if I did, I'd get obsessed with it and I'd want to get like every single one. But for some reason, I never really paid attention to it. It's like it'd just be playing a game and it'd pop up and I go, oh, okay. So I'm glad it never got on my nerves, to be honest. Oh, mate, nice one. Played the Order 1886. Could not get through the final battle. What's the final battle? It's been years since I played that. But I didn't watch it ended on YouTube. Well, that's a good option actually, Justin. I like that game a lot. I need to get that back in the collection. I haven't got it at the moment. But yeah, I really liked Order 1886. I found it a little awkward in places, a little difficult, but I can't remember what the final battle was. Graphically, it's beautiful. But yeah, sometimes I think you have to just walk away. You know, when I was playing Medal of Honor the other day and it was getting on my tit, and I just went, that's it, turn the console off. And then normally I would never have done that. I'd have just sat there and pissed myself off until I worked it out. And I'd have got angry and wound up by it all and probably thrown the controller. But for the first time in my life, I went, nope, that's it, I've had enough. Turned it off, went and watched some YouTube videos. Drexus80, Nintendo asks you to design a new Star Fox game where you have full creative control. What would you like to see? Ooh, now there's a good quote. It would have to be reminiscent of Star Fox and Star Fox 64, or a proper throwback, but modernize it. Again, I wouldn't have any kind of like pixelated graphics on it. That'd be like hand drawn or some beautiful cut, like like Finnegan Fox, that kind of graphics, because I love those graphics. And I think you don't want to you want to give enough throwback, but make it modern as well. So I mean, I haven't played the one on Wii U, and I know that one seems to divide people as to whether it's any good. And I think a lot of problems with that was down to the screen. So that's something you could probably fix nowadays. What would I like to see though? I mean, I want to see like space battles. I want to see like a lot of land stuff. I love that in Star Fox 64 when you're going over the water and under the little bridges and things. That's really cool. And obviously, you wouldn't have the fog as well because we've got better machines now. But yeah, I think that'd be really interesting to see. It'd be interesting to know if they're ever going to do another one. I mean, if that came out on the next Nintendo console, might tempt me to get back on Nintendo. You never know. Yeah, it is. You know, mate, I used to play Medal of Honor Airborne when it came out on Expert because I always found that the medium setting was too easy. And I can't play it on Expert anymore. I'm crap at it. So I played it on medium setting all the way through. I've had no problems. And I still struggle with the train yard level, which is that the one just before? I can't remember if that's the penultimate level or the one before the penultimate level. But that train yard level gets on my nerves so much Because again, you get to the end of the level, the door, I think the train comes through or tank comes through or something. I think it's a tank, I can't remember. I only played it a couple of days ago as well. And then you get like the bloody stormtrooper with his gas mask and his big minigun. And I did that, no problem at all. I blew him up, and I think there was 2 of them, so I killed them. But then for some reason, I can't remember what you've got to do now. You've got to get somewhere on the map, and I think you've got to blow something of a train up or something. But they just spawn shitloads of Jerrys, and you're trying to get away from them. And like all the AI just piss off and leave you. They're off on the other side of the map doing what they got to do. And I'm sitting there getting surrounded by Jerrys everywhere, and I'm like, for Christ's sake, and I'm trying to kill them, and I just died over and over again. That's the one level that stresses me. Whereas back in the day, level 2 was the one that used to get on my nerves. I found level 2 really hard. But the flak turn at the end, yeah, it's brutal. But the one thing I have learned is with the stormtrooper guys, if you use the rifle, not the carbine, is it carbine? The American one, the one that makes the ping noise. If you use that and you just steady with your aim and you pop them in the head 3 times, it drops them. You know, because you can use the machine gun, but it takes so many bullets. But I found that's the quickest and easiest way to get rid of them. That or use that grenade. I don't know what it's called, but it's a big grenade that's got a round base. You chuck a couple of them at them, kills them straight away. Ah, great one, mate. Favourite COD? I only play campaign. I don't do multiplayer, so put that as a caveat. Call of Duty 2 still. I was playing it today again, and graphically it's aged pretty poorly. I like it, but I think you can see there's loads of detail missing compared to other CODs. But I think it's running at 60. I'm not certain, but it's very smooth. The great level design. I love all the dialogue between the characters. Is really funny. It's just a really solid game up and down. I love that game. I'm not so keen on the tank levels as much, but the actual first-person bit is brilliant. But I'd say Call of Duty, then Call of Duty 2, then it would be Modern Warfare 3 because I absolutely love that game, and then it would be Ghosts, then Black Ops 2, and probably Call of Duty Big Red one after that, and then Call of Duty 3 on the original Xbox because I don't like the 360 PS3 version, and then all the others it doesn't really matter. I mean, probably Modern Warfare would be after that, Call of Duty 4, when Black Ops 3 and 4 I don't care about because it's more multiplayer than anything else. And yeah, I really like World War II as well. That was a really good one. That was a cracking game. Unfortunately, I'll never get to play the version of Modern Warfare that came out a couple of years ago because they've completely knackered it and it won't install properly. And I can't find a solution. All it does is just wipe it out and put the multiplayer in its place after doing a solid 90 gigabyte download, which is so irritating because that campaign looks really fun. No, I haven't had one for years. In fact, you know what? I've probably not had one since I made that video. I did once, years ago when I was working at this one place and there was a sandwich shop on the other side of the street. And we used to go over there and they just do custom sandwiches, whatever you wanted, anything at all. And so I remember I had a baguette and she thought it was mental. But I remember I had the peanut butter and the bananas and she was like, what the hell are you doing? What else did I put on? I put something else on it. Oh, God, it's just blanked. I put something else on it. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, the peanut and banana was enough. She was just like, the hell's wrong with you? But it was really good on the baguette. It tasted really nice. But you have to cut the bananas the right way. You have to cut them in circles. You can't cut it lengthwise because it just ruins the flavour for some reason. Have we got any water? No, I haven't. Will there be a Nintendo Switch 2 or will they move on totally? That's a good question, Keith. I have no idea. I mean, the Switch has been very successful for them. I think, if you look at Nintendo, usually they just move on to something else. The Wii is the only time they've ever gone on and done a second one, and that didn't work out so well, even though the Wii U is a great console. So, I don't know. I mean, they may not brand it as Switch 2, but they might just carry on with this mobile docking system. I mean, it seems to work really well for them, so possibly. I mean, I'd like to see them just do a straight console, but it depends if they want to do handhelds and consoles or they just want to do what the Switch is doing, because with the Switch, they don't need a 3DS or a DS or whatever version they've got out at the time, do they? But I don't know. I mean, the Switch has been very, very successful, so we shall see. What is your favourite game from Gears of War franchise? That's really hard, mate. I always said number 3. That was always my favourite one. But I loved number 4. I thought number 4 was so good. There were parts of number 4 that really got on my nerves. There was a bit that I remember on Gears of War 4 where you're in a building on a gantry It's one. I think it's one of them things where you're on a timer or something, and the people keep coming. You got to set up like a gun to stop them. Really pissed me off. But other than that, I really enjoyed number 4. But yeah, I would probably say number 3. Actually, I'd say number 3 just about edges number 4. I think, to be honest, the only one I haven't played is number 5 and Judgment. So the main 4 initial, all of those are great games. I don't really say that any of them are bad. It'd be what am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, it's a bit difficult, but number 3 for some reason I remember it standing out quite a lot. Probably because it was the only one I completed as well. That probably helped. And then I completed number 4. What we got here? With Cornhole coming to Amico, do you think they could do a Wii Sports type game, many sports using control? Absolutely, mate. 100%. I mean, Cornhole for the common market, for the average non-gamer, is going to just be so reminiscent of Wii bowling, which is why I think it's a genius idea putting that on there. I mean, I know a lot of people outside of America don't know Cornhole. Like, I had no idea what it was. I had to find out, and I found myself watching it on YouTube, the actual Cornhole game, and I was hooked. And I don't like sport that much, but I found it really fascinating. So yeah, I think it's going to be great, and I think they could easily. I know they've just done a Switch Sports, haven't they? Just been announced. So I think there's no reason at all why they can't do a sports package. It'd be interesting to see actually what they would come up with on that one. Do you have any nostalgia for VHS? I love the artwork on the big cases and the common attractions at the start of X-Files. Yeah, I've got all my originals down there, which is not a lot. I've got a couple of films, some music ones. I haven't got into it though, because my good friend Gashead Steve is into the VHS, and he recently posted a new video. And in the background, he's done in his room. He's got the lighting on, the glowing. I love the lighting, and he got his stack set up there with them all facing forward, and you can see like the Running Man. They look really cool. I love the way the VHS look. I mean, the quality. If the tape hasn't been worn, then the quality is actually surprising. I had when I had my CRT, I had Terminator 2, and I put that on, and that tape had hardly been used because the quality was so clean, there was no mess on it. But I think it's is VHS. I can't remember if they're stereo or mono, or was it that some of them were mono and then they got stereo later on, like when they introduced widescreen. I can't remember. But yeah, I like VHS. I'd never get into collecting because that is cheap and cheerful, and you'll just end up with a room full of the bleeding stuff. Plus, I don't have a CRT anymore, so until I get another CRT in the future, if I can get one, then maybe I'd consider it. I mean, it's also helpful because I've got a lot of VHS that I recorded off the TV, and I would love to get all that backed up because I haven't done that yet. And I've got a DVD recorder that I can use to do that. But I need a CRT really, because the only way I can connect it to my modern TV is component, and it just gets messy. If you could buy one pinball, Mr. T, by the way, that's really cool, and one arcade machine, what would they be? Pinball, I wouldn't, because I just don't have any interest. But arcade, Operation Wolf, 100%. In fact, if I had the money and the space, it'd be Operation Wolf, Final Fight, and Pit Fighter, because those are the 3 games I loved as a kid. Pit Fighter in particular, man, that'd be special. Operation Wolf, I know like Retro Dave Nintendo's got one, and that seems to have a lot of maintenance issues with the gun and everything. And then you've got to piss about the screen if the screen goes tits up. So, but yeah, if I could just buy them and they were all fully done and working perfect, that would be really cool. I'd love a Pit Fighter cab. I know King Arthur on YouTube's got one, and it's absolutely spectacular. Right, okay, so I'm not going to be talking about politics at all, because that's not a good idea. Let's just hope not is the answer to that one. Yeah, it's not a great time, is it? So let's try and be positive. Honestly, mate, I don't have pets, so I don't know. I have done in the past, mate. I've collected Japanese Mega Drive. I've collected PAL Mega Drive. I even collected a bit of Genesis at one time. I don't mind the Mega Drive at all. It's a cracking system. It's got some great games on it. Some very good exclusives. In fact, that's the one thing about 16-bit I love, is the fact that Mega Drive and SNES have got such variety on them. So, but I don't, if I ever get back into collecting again, I'm not going mad with it. I'm keeping it completely under control this time. And that's even if it ever happens. How the hell am I going to know, Keith? I've got over 1,000 videos on my channel. I don't even know when you started watching my channel, mate. So I don't know. Give me a hint. See if I can figure it out. Ah, nice one, mate. Rob asking, apart from the Streets of Rage 4, have I played any of the modern 2BD beat ones? I haven't, but please suggest some, mate, because I have no idea what's out there. I don't, as you probably know, Rob, I don't keep up with what's on the stores, and that's why I have no idea. And there's a lot of stuff on the Switch. I'm always seeing yourself and Alex, Nintendo Arcade, and others picking up Switch stuff. And yeah, it's, as I said, the library's huge. I look forward to it. I am actually, mate. I'm really looking forward to it. And it comes out March, isn't it? I think it's out in a couple of weeks. So I don't like the director because of what he did to the Monkey films. But I'm hoping this is going to be really good. The trailers have been fantastic. Catwoman looks really good. Pattinson looks fantastic. You know, Colin, I'm forgetting his name, the Irish bloke. Colin, oh, Jesus Christ, what's his name? Anyway, Penguin. It looks really good. Why can't I think of it? Oh, they'll call him a minute. I've got Colin Firth stuck in my head. That's annoying. But yeah, it does look really, really good. So, I mean, you'd think I'd had another bloody Batman at this point. They've done so many of them, but yeah, it's a really good looking film. Why can't I think of his bloody name? Oh God, that's annoying. Yeah, I don't get into personal stuff. To be honest, I haven't had that many cars, mate. So I'm not really into cars. It's just the convenience more than anything. Colin Farrell, just remembered. Christ, eventually. Great one, Daz. Drex 80 favourite PS1 games. So Medal of Honor Underground, Time Crisis, Silent Hill, Die Hard Trilogy, I absolutely love. I've played that so many times, completed it ridiculous amounts of times. Crash Bandicoot 3, I love that. First two are great. Third one's my favourite. Warped. What else is there? God, there's so many. It's really hard to remember all of them. Tekken 3, of course. Metal Gear Solid as well. As much as I can't play those games, I'm crap at them now. At the time, I absolutely thought that was incredible. Yeah, Silent Bomber as well. Silent Bomber's a really cool game. But the PS1, I mean, the library's huge. There's so many great games on the system. Wow. Imagine if Death in a Game was final and the game deleted itself after it. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that Kojima would probably do. It wouldn't surprise me if he did something like that. Yeah, I've been hearing about this. I don't know what's going on with this GoldenEye release. Is this something that's really going to happen or not? And I don't exactly know, because is it the Xbox 360 remaster that they made? Is that, because I know that's been leaked online, is that what they're talking about, bringing it out as an actual thing? And is it digital or is it digital and physical? It'd be really interesting because it looks pretty good from what I've seen on YouTube anyway. That's a great question, Bob. And you don't know how apt that is. I've been thinking about this recently. 2D games or 3D games, if you could only choose one style to play for the rest of your days, which would it be? 2D, 100%. There's a lot of great 3D games, but 2D games I find are the more accessible games and the more fun. And you've got the nostalgia, of course, but I find 2D games way more. I can relax more with 2D games. I can just kick back. 3D games, I don't know if it's because there's so much going on or what it is, and you've got so many controls and all that, and it's over. I've always wondered about that. Is it because there's so much that you don't realise you're doing? Your brain's just doing it for you, and you're controlling the sticks, and you're moving the camera, and you're moving the character, and you're crouching, you're running, you're changing your weapon, you're reloading your weapon, you're ducking, you're jumping, you're changing your loadout, you're zooming, all this stuff. Whereas with 2D, you've either got 2 buttons or 6, and or 3 if you've got a Mega Drive. And it's not complicated. It's like run and jump or shoot, So yeah, and that's probably why I'm all about this. I want that I've wanted this for a long time. This simplicity to come back. So yeah, I would absolutely go 2D all the way. My favorite card is Call of Duty Finest Hour. Oh, nice, mate. Good choice. I actually tried to finish that a couple of years ago and I got stuck. But it's a really, really cool game. I got to a level. There's some tanks, and you go around a corner. But for some reason, the game was really dark, and I couldn't see what the hell was going on. Big Red 1, nice. Number 3, Modern Warfare 2, nice. Black Ops, Ghosts, Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare, is actually better than I thought. I played it again recently. I think it was last year. I was really surprised because I don't remember it being that great. But when I played through it, I really enjoyed it. except for the fact that Kevin Spacey's in it, because that's just weird. I hate when they use real actors' faces, and even like Troy Baker. It just does my nut in when you see their face. Cause I can't. I'd rather they didn't do that. They just had a character face instead. But there's some absolutely great missions in Advanced Warfare, and the graphics, man, outstanding. Hey, how's it going, James? Welcome, mate. Good to see you in here. Do you watch any YouTube channels outside of gaming? Yes, mate, I do. I watch a few different channels. I watch The Endless Adventure, who are a travel couple, American. I absolutely love their videos. They're absolutely brilliant. Adventures and Naps, who's a Canadian girl living in England, and she talks about her experience living over here. I watch Amanda Ray, who's an American who does the same thing, talks about her experiences in the UK. What else am I watching? What else have I got? I'm trying to think who's on my list now. But I watch a lot of like music videos as well and stuff like that. I'm also subscribed to a channel called That UFO Podcast. So I watch that to keep up on top of what's going on with the UFO community, which, is a bit of a shit show at the moment, but I'm keeping on top of all that. What else to watch? I watch a lot of ASMR stuff, but I'm not subscribed to any of those anymore like I used to be. So I just watch my favourite ASMR artists. But yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of different stuff. I watch more non-gaming stuff than gaming these days, to be honest with you. I'm just starting to, because I've started to settle with my collecting, I'm starting to get back into watching more retro videos. I've been more, obviously, like I watch Miko stuff all the time. So I'm a big fan of the two big Amico podcasts, Amico Forever and Amico After Dark, which are absolutely brilliant. Okay, what's that? What was that Elvis baguette? Bacon and peanut butter, maybe. Wow, that's different. I think it was thousands of calories. The sad thing is Fat Elvis. I love it when people call me Fat Elvis. Fat Elvis just wasn't that heavy really by today's standards. I've got a few. How fat was he at the time when he died? I don't know. Yeah, it's funny that, because you see him, like, I think it was in Vegas when he's wearing the black suit and he looked really like the absolute nuts. And then not long after that, he turned up into Fat Elvis and died. That's a real shame. Cyber Snake in the house. How's it going, Jay, mate? Good to see you. No, it's good to have you here, mate. Well done. How's it going, Adam, Mr. 16-bit Brit? You dabble with modern day VR over there, mate. I know it's not that modern now, but I've had one for a bit. Half-Life Alex was mine. That looked really cool. That did. Watching movies on them is really good. Yeah, I tried watching Blu-rays on my PlayStation VR. It's proper weird, man. It's so massive. I mean, just playing PS4 games I played Call of Duty World War II on it. I was like, oh, this is a bit intense, but it's just mad. I'd love to try the is it Rift? I'm not sure. That Oculus that's wireless. The wireless option is definitely the best option. Although you're probably prone to walking into bloody walls and doors, but yeah, the one game I really want to play is on Oculus, I believe, which is the Medal of Honor game, where you actually get to load the gun in real time and pull back the slide, and that looks amazing. But I did see Half-Life Alyx and the graphics. Yeah, VR's insane. Thanks, Jay. Go on, you mate. Got to represent, I did, mate. It was coffin handles. That was when I was very young, just after I left school. So yeah, what a shite job that was, not. You're bloody mental, you are, Keith. Yeah, the future is bright, mate. It's always bright. You've just got to be positive and think about it. It's easy to be negative these days. Nice one, James. So yeah, I must admit, Saturn is a very tempting system. It's just when you start buying, collecting, etc., it gets out of hand so fast. It's so easy to be influenced and just want to buy each different system. And like I've done in the past, I end up with a room full of the bloody things. Nice one, Rob. Desert Island game. That's interesting. Super Mario Kart and SNES is a great choice, Keith, by the way. Yeah, I'm probably going to say Castlevania 4 again, because I can just play that game over and over again and never get bored of that one. Have you ever started a game, shelved it, come back to it later and kick yourself and not plan to play it again sooner? Which one or ones comes to mind? Yeah, I mean, what was it I was playing recently? There was a game I played recently. I can't think what it was now. There's been a few games over the years where it's just like, especially if I'm not in the mood and I'll be playing it and it just stress me out and I'll put it away and then I'll come back to it and I'll be, oh, why didn't I like that? It's really weird. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know there was one I was talking about recently. I can't think what it was. I don't know how to think about it, Daz. I can't think off the top of my head, to be honest with you. Is that the guy in Australia who's got the massive room? Yeah, I got to agree. It's just items and life is more important. Absolutely. It's great if you can do it and you can balance it with your life. That's fantastic. But life always comes first above everything, which is why I got rid of everything, because it was the right choice for me. Okay, what's that in, Steve? Bold and Bankrupt. An Englishman. Is that a YouTube channel? An Englishman exploring the unreported world, post-Soviet nations. Oh, that sounds a laugh a minute. It's the best. Jesus, that's a bit heavy, isn't it? Bloody hell. But yeah, I love when YouTube randomly throws you stuff. Like recently, I found a guy called Jay who interviews old pop stars and TV personalities, and that's really cool. And what was that bloody channel I watched the other night? Oh yeah, I started watching a new podcast. I try not to watch. I mean, I started watching Diary of a CEO. That came up, and I started watching a few of those. But those long form ones, as much as I like Joe Rogan, sometimes I just need a break from it all. But I started watching a guy called James English the other day because he interviewed Greg Kading, the guy who broke the Tupac and Biggie murders. That was a really interesting interview. I've watched shitloads of interviews with Greg Kading, and I thought it's just going to be the same old thing, but it actually wasn't. It was really interesting. He's got quite some interesting people on his channel. Great question, mate. Have you ever played the Bioshock games? Heard of making a Netflix film? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've tried. I tried playing the first one. I didn't play the second one. I've only ever played the demo, in fact, of the first one. I always get stuck, and I played the demo again recently because it's still available on the 360 shop. I just can't get through it. I keep getting stuck in a room, going around in circles, not figuring out how to get out of it. But I did play Bioshock Infinite, and I got really close to the end, and there's a bit of a load of sky hooks, and I couldn't work it out, and I kept dying over and over again. And it really annoyed me, actually, because Bioshock Infinite was bloody brilliant. I absolutely love that game. I just wish I could have finished it. So that is on my list to come back in for the 360 because I want to finish that one. Okay, I'm just going to get a drink. I'll be back in a second. So bear with me. Okay, right. Let's get back in the chat. So, a question from Jack. Have you got a particular nostalgic memory that reminds you of everything around that time period? Mine is Resident Evil 2 main hall theme and Shadow Man theme, menu theme. Takes me back to the moments. Oh, good question, Jack. Yeah, probably the Xbox 360 launch again. That's like a big thing for me. 2005, 2nd of December. I've talked about it a lot, but I just remember everything about that time and the whole lead up to it. I did a whole video on it recently about the lead up to that. We was, seeing the event in, I think it was in the desert in America. I think it was Vegas. I'm not sure, in Nevada. But they had the big event in the desert. They had the unveiling of the console on the MTV. Then they had the E3 presentation, which is iconic. And then I'm waiting outside game all morning, like for an hour and a half, or however long it was. Yeah, that was great, man. I just getting back and playing Condemned and Call of Duty 2. Oh, great times. Yes, absolutely, Keith. In fact, Gears of War, I'll never forget when Gears of War first came out, and I was playing it, and I was living in a flat at the time, and I completely lost track of time. And I was playing the game, and I got it full cranked up on the 5.1 surround, and the neighbour upstairs was not impressed. Let's put it that way. So I got a bit of a bang on the ceiling, but yeah. Any particular game moments that always stand out to you? Number one is Uncharted 4 when you discover the lost city of Libertalia. Yeah, that's a great moment. Oh, that's a great question, that is, mate. These are the questions that are really hard because you have to they take a lot of thought. Off the top of my head, though, what? These are the questions where your mind just goes completely blank. And the other day, I'd just think of something, but I don't know off the top of my head. This is the problem when you've played so many games as well. I don't know, Jack. I'm going to have a think about that. I'm really not too sure. I mean, I'm thinking like Uncharted 2 because there's so many great, memorable moments in that game. But yeah, I don't know, actually. That's really, really hard. James, what were your favourite retro titles that you could run through relatively easily, such as Castlevania 4? You mentioned. Great question, mate. Probably, yeah, that Mario World, Mario Kart. God, off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm trying to think games that don't really. There's always those games you can just kick back and. I mean, even something like Black. I know it's like 2005, so it's definitely retro. That's one of the games I can I'm so good at it, and I'm so practiced at it that I can just chill with that and just, I don't have any major concerns until the last level. That's the finale of that game. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get your ass handed to you pretty quickly. But yeah, like proper retro. What else would there be? Yeah, I mean, God, that's really hard actually. Those ones, I mean, I would have said Street Fighter 2, but then Bison's a complete shit at the end, and sometimes as well, Sagat can be really tough. But yeah, definitely something like Mario World. I was going to say Mario 4, which it is, isn't it? That's definitely one. I can get through that fairly easily. Damn, man, there's a throwback. PlayStation Home. Remember when that was going to be a thing? A bit like the metaverse. We'll see. Oh, thanks to. Oh, okay, it's not heavy. Oh, okay. It's such a nice game. Makes loads of friends. Really nice people. Get on to. But I'll have a look then. Might as well give it a try. I do like things like that. I like things that are completely different to what I normally watch. That's the only good thing. As much as YouTube suggests a lot of crap sometimes, every now and again it'll throw me a bone and I'll get a video and I'll be like, oh, I'll watch that. And then I get down a bloody rabbit hole then. But I do like, yeah, I must admit, that sounds pretty interesting. So I will genuinely have a look at that. It sounds interesting. Where's the party at? Yeah, I know. In my little room, apparently. Okay, what we got here, Kev? Time Travel arrives from 1980. Which three games do you show them to represent modern games? Well, I mean, I can't cast PS5 in that because they ain't got one. I would say Uncharted 4, 100%. You've got to show them that. That game's just phenomenal. From a storytelling perspective, characters, level design, gameplay, everything. I mean, it's just incredible. Ooh. You want to try and have a bit of variety as well, don't you? So as much as I'm not good at it, and it's not a game I could play, I would suggest Zelda Breath of the Wild as well, for the expansive nature of it, and it's a completely different style of play as well. And what would be something that else would blow people's minds nowadays? You got me on that one. I mean, you could just, to be honest, show them Mario Odyssey. That would be absolutely bloody mind-blowing. Because, I mean, Mario wouldn't even be out in 1980, would it? So, to be fair, any games now that you showed someone from 1980 would blow their minds. Because you're talking like, just coming out of the 70s with Space Invaders and Asteroids, and, be a big leap. So, question for you, James, which one's your favourite? That's a good question, Keith. Which one year would you time travel to just to play video games for a day? 2005 again. I'd have to be 2nd of December 2005 just to relive the 360 launch and play Call of Duty 2, Condemned, Project Gotham 3, Perfect Dark Zero. Because that was just such a really, really great time. Mate, they've been inflating for the last couple of years. If you follow Super Nintendo, the last 2 years, the prices have gone insane. Funny enough, yes, I've only been to Scotland once, and I did visit Edinburgh while I was there, as well as Loch Ness and a few others. And Edinburgh is a fantastic. I'm not a big fan of cities, but Edinburgh is a beautiful city. Andy's in the house. How's it going, mate? Halo, when you look down at the grass for the first time, of course, how could I not even think of that? I mean, there's nothing better than when you get out the ship and you turn the I was going to say flashlight, but it's not, the torch, and turn it on and you see that. I'll never forget that when it first happened. That was, I can't believe I forgot that. Well done, Andy. That's one of the most iconic moments. That's a great choice, that is, mate. Just in game moment, I'm stuck in a room on Eco. After a while, the order makes a noise. I look over, she's pointing it to the way out. A shiver went down my spine. It's like she's done. Yeah, it's funny how that happens with certain things. They just trigger you, don't they? I mean, non-game related today, I was having a bit of an anxious day today with this storm. It's put me on edge a bit, and I was trying to find ways to just distract myself. And so I played a bit of Call of Duty 2. It didn't really work. But then I started listening. I was watching some concerts and listening to Baby Metal, and it's amazing how much that relaxed me. I love that band anyway, but that really chilled me out today. I know it's a bit off topic, but there we go. Oh, no problem, Dan. Have a good one, mate. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, thanks. I will do my best to keep the channel going. I'm trying. Oh, thanks, mate. That's really nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, I ain't, Keith. That's different. Is that like one of them ones where they're just tasting food, or if that can get a bit weird? Oh yeah, of course, got on here. So first time you went out into the Hyrule Field on Ocarina. See, I've missed out on all this because all you guys that play RPGs, you've got all these memories that I will never know, and it's a real shame. It's the one genre that and RTS, I just can't get my head around them. Oh, brilliant, Dad. Favorite game in the collection, EverK collection so far, Tumble Pop Breakthrough, and then I've got Chaos Engine and Super Double Dragon. But yeah, I love Tumble Pop at the moment. And Breakthrough is ridiculously difficult as that bloody game is. I was so chuffed when I finally beat that. That's a proper old school challenge to do that and all. Yeah, EverK's fantastic. I can't wait to see what that new cartridge is. I hope it's something good. Oh, I feel sorry for you there, mate. I'm sure it'll turn up. Apart from the Super Nintendo, is there another retro console you'd like to start collecting for again? You know what, Jay? In all honesty, if I ever get back into it, there's three. It's going to be the Super Nintendo, the PlayStation 1, and the original Xbox. I can convince myself to buy a PS2 or a Saturn or any other Mega Drive or any of the other systems, but those are the three that I would absolutely, if I was going to actually properly collect, I think they're the ones I'd do. I'd love a nice big Xbox collection again, get all those games back. And obviously Super Nintendo is an absolute definite. And PS1, it's got a vast library. There's so many games I want, but there's so many games I've never played as well. So, yeah, I think that'd be enough. I mean, with the 360, the Evercade, and upcoming Amico, that's a lot. And PS4 as well, of course. So, yeah. Oh, nice one, James. So, favourite Bioshock is Infinite. Nice, good choice. Close call, the first one. I've really got to try the first one again and see if I can. I'll have to. I don't know if you played the demo of it, but I mean, obviously, you played the full game. But it's just quite early on, and I just got locked in this room and I couldn't figure it out. And there's like a couple of rooms adjoining, and you just sort of go around and around, and there's some water and a big thing in the middle of the water, and I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. It's really weird. It's a shame because up until that point, I was enjoying it as well. Yeah, that's a great moment. That's a great choice. That is, Keith. I love that myself. You know, you can tweak his face and everything, but yeah, I won't do the speech because I might get cancelled out and all. And of course, Adam agrees. Mario 64. Yeah, I must admit, when you're standing outside that castle, it's pretty impressive. Even now, I mean, I know the graphics are old, but it's an impressive looking game. And like that one, is it the first level where you run up the path and round and up, and the bomb things there? Just yeah, stunning game. Oh, that's really nice of you, Keith. Thank you, Matt. I try to. I think YouTube channels have to be light. They have to be fun. There's not. You shouldn't make them. If you want serious channels, there are serious channels. But I think something like this for gaming, you can't take it too seriously, can you? I want people. I know, like when I watch YouTube channels, I'm watching YouTube channels to escape the real world and just relax. So if people are going to watch my channel, I want them to do the same. I want them to be able to just, enjoy the content and not be brought down. Hopefully. Oh, nice one, Jay. So most iconic game moment was the beginning of Castlevania 4 when the music started and it was going to be an epic game. Yeah, and the music just gets better every level. One of the many great things about that game. And Dan's one is Final Fantasy VII. Walking out into the world map on Final Fantasy VII for the first time. Everybody loves Final Fantasy VII. Again, I'm missing out a lot with the RPG stuff, but yeah, I'm a bit late to be starting, I think. Right, I'm caught up now. Phew. I ain't stopped talking yet. I really need that drink. I think the storm's calmed down anyway. It sounds like it has. So keep them coming, guys. Keep me busy. I have tried it. I've tried it when it was out, like on PlayStation, but yeah, I just don't. I don't know, man. It's that, as I've said before, it's that taking turns thing. It's dumb. I don't get it at all. What you okay? Your video game character name is the color of your current bedspread. Right, okay. And the name of your first pet and the last thing. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I've never had a pet, so I'm a bit knackered on that, mate. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the southwest, mate, and it was brutal this morning. It was so bloody fast. Yeah, it seems a lot. Yeah, it does sound a lot calmer now, thank God. But it was mental this morning. Hey, how's it going, Pete? Pete over in Canada. Another great channel, by the way, guys. Check out Classic Gaming Fun. If you want positivity and really happy videos, then he's the one to watch. He's a great guy. Okay, what the hell is that, Justin? I don't even know. I mean, obviously, I know what a Kit Kat is, but I've never heard of that. I've got no idea. No worries, mate. And thank you. That's 2 people today have acknowledged the hat. So look at that. Quality right there. Whew. Keith, man, come on. You can't be asking questions like that. Jesus. I got you. Totally lost me then. I was like, what? Oh, brilliant. Thank you, mate. Greetings. Got someone from New York. This is really cool. I love it when you get people from different countries. There's no way of doing it quickly. It takes a lot of work and a lot of grind. And especially these days, if you start a channel nowadays, it's really, really hard to get subscribers. In fact, to be honest, these days, I'd say just don't even worry about subscribers. Worry more about the views. I think that if depending on what you want from the channel, if you're doing a hobby channel like me, then subscribers matter because you get the conversation, which is the most important part. But if you're doing like a YouTube channel to be somebody, then just concentrate on the views. Oh, good question. What's the most sentimental thing to you in your game room? I think probably my music at this point, my CDs I've got over the back of there, because I've got like my entire teenage years just sitting there, all stacked up, all my albums, all my CD singles. I was looking for my CD singles last week, and so many memories. It's like, God, I forgot about that song. I forgot about that song, and I forgot about that artist. And then I started looking on YouTube and watching the videos. So yeah, I'd probably say that actually. So it's non-gaming, which is surprising. There's a good question, James. What was the last book you read and film that you watched? The last book I read, I actually don't remember because I haven't read a book in ages. I did start reading Tony Blair's biography, and I still haven't finished it, and I really need to. That was a long time ago. I can't remember what the actual last book was that I finished reading all the way through, to be quite honest with you, mate. It might have been No Angel, but I'm not entirely certain about that, which is a really great book. But I don't know if it was. It's been a long time. Film-wise, I've recently watched The King's Man, the third Kingsman film, and I absolutely loved it. I wasn't sure with the trailer because it's gone back to World War One, and I thought, oh, this isn't going to be very good. It was fantastic. It's not my favourite Kingsman film, but it's bloody close. It'd probably be second place. Yeah, if anyone likes the Kingsman films and you haven't watched the new one, please do because it's so good. If you've never watched the Kingsman films, go and watch the Kingsman films because they're absolutely brilliant. I can no longer find my CD singles. May have to get rid of them in a bit of tidying up. Yeah, mate, I've got how many have I got? I don't know. Jesus God, I got a lot. They're all just stacked up because I've got nowhere to put them really. I've filled one shelf with them, and the rest of them are just stacked on top of each other. Because there used to be an independent record shop I used to go to, and used to get CDs for 50p. So I used to just buy a lot of CD singles back in the day. Mad, isn't it? Because nowadays, I think I'm not entirely certain, but I think like younger people now, it is about the single. It's not about the album in it. So they just download the songs now. Again, Keith, I can't answer that to be honest with you. That's just like colour of the bedspread I can do. First girl, hang on. Ooh. The problem you got there is first girlfriend's dad's name. She didn't know who her dad was, so there's no way I can answer that. And the last thing I ate. So yeah, that's a bit difficult to be honest with you. Oh, cool. Nice one, Jack. Are there any games that you found genuinely scary as a kid? For me, it was original Resident Evil. Yeah, it was. How old would I have been? Well, I'd have been a teenager. I think when I was an actual kid, I don't remember playing any scary games. It would have been when I was a teenager, and it would have been Silent Hill. And it was the bit in Silent Hill where you'd hear that kid crying in the toilets. It scared the shit out of me. I didn't like that at all. It was really creepy. Really, Jay? You've gone over all the way to vinyl? Love the Kingsman. It's really great, and it's emotional. The action was phenomenal. The story was great. The characters. It's got that Kingsman flavour, but yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. I've really shocked. Actually, I've just realised that isn't the last film I watched because I've just watched Scream. I forgot, but it was also really good, but Kingsman was better. But yeah, I just watched the new Scream film, which if you like Scream films, it's really good. You know, it doesn't do anything special. It doesn't try to be anything different. But anyway, yeah, mate. So what have you? Did you get rid of all you see? Did you sell them, or did you just? And have you brought back your favourite albums on vinyl? Hey, first Amico question of the night. Hurrah, finally. Thank you, Daz. With your Amico being focused on gaming together, what are your fondest memories of gaming together with others in the past? One that always comes to mind is in the 80s with my dad. We used to play Hunchback on the Commodore 64 all the time, trying to take it in turns playing the levels to see who could do it. And like you used to always have one level where there's like guys in like, I think it's like a wall, like turret thing, and they've got big spikes and they stick them up, and you always get a spike in the nuts. That was a really fun one. Obviously, Wii Sports. Me and my dad played a lot of Wii Sports. I know everybody talks about Wii bowling. Me and my dad were Wii Golf. We played the hell out of Wii Golf. And then another one was Sports Champions on the PS3 when the Move came out. My dad got a PS3 to play Blu-rays, and we used to play a lot of Sports Champions with the frisbee and all that kind of stuff. That was really cool. There was one on Sports Champions. I was like, I can't remember what it was called in the sport, but you've got those like little wooden balls and you just throw them. That was really fun. I love stuff like that. It's really easy and accessible, like the Amico is going to be, and that's why I know me and my dad are going to be able to play it because we can play like Astro Smash, and it's an old school game for him the kind of stuff he grew up with. And then we'll have all the cornholes and all that kind of game, and the puzzle games. Might get mum involved, hopefully. But yeah, those are some of the ones I can remember. And like with friends, like Halo with my best friend playing split screen campaign single player mode, which obviously wasn't single player, but the campaign mode. Playing Gears of War online with my mate Rich, who watching my videos, playing on Xbox Live. Campaign again, co-op campaign. Playing Halo 2 with friends online was really, really cool. But like together, like close together, like friends, it was more like a lot. I can't think of games off the top. I mean, RoboCop 2 on the Amiga, weird as it is. One of my friends, he had an Amiga before any of us, like me and my other friends. I remember always going around his house, and he always had RoboCop 2 on. So I remember playing that with him, playing Nightbreed. There was 2 Nightbreed games. It was the first person one. So yeah, those memories, like back, there's nothing better than playing online is great, but playing together properly, you cannot beat it. And Amico's going to absolutely kill it with that concept. Yeah, I'm on the vinyl too, but I refuse to replace like the Blu-rays. I ain't replacing my Blu-rays with 4K Blu-rays. I'm not replacing my CDs with vinyl. Plus, the CDs are memories as well. So, are there any older games you'd love to see remade? Great question, Adam. A lot. I mean, a lot of the Medal of Honors, Medal of Honor Underground, even Tier 1 and Warfighter. I want all of those remade. Castlevania 4, I'd absolutely love, as I said. Chaos Engine, I'd absolutely love a new Chaos Engine. Maybe even Magic Pockets. I mean, it's not the most in-depth game. And Gods, anything bitmap related, Xenon 2 as well. And Speedball 2 absolutely would be fantastic to be remade. What else would there be? I mean, it's like Cold Winter on PS2. I want that to get remade because it would look a lot better done. It still looks pretty decent, but it would look amazing on modern technology. See, the problem is when I think about like 8-bit, that's when it becomes difficult because I played so many games on Commodore and I can't remember the majority of them. But I don't know, but that's a few anyway that I can think of. I don't actually know, Justin. That's the point. I mean, is it just downloads now? I don't know. I assume it is. I'm assuming you only buy albums because I mean, I know when I check on Amazon, it's usually like digital for singles, and then albums on all formats. Evening, mate. Thank you for joining. To be honest, it doesn't appeal to me, Keith. If I'm honest, I watched those on Lady Gaga and Kylo Ren. There was on Graham Norton, and I just thought, yeah, I ain't watching that. And if you think I'm answering a question about Prince Andrew, you're having a laugh, mate. Come on, be serious. Jesus Christ. I don't really get involved with the royal family. I'm not that interested, to be quite honest. Great question, Dad. Have you checked out a new Jack Reacher on Amazon? I watched the first episode, and it was all right, actually. It was better than I thought, because I thought the trailer was crap. But the first episode was got the violence surprised me when he's in the showers beating the crap out of people. I was like, I wasn't expecting this in a TV show, but fair enough. But yeah, it was all right. I haven't bothered to go back and finish it. My dad got 8 episodes in and gave up, which is never a good sign because he'll watch anything. So, but yeah, I might do. I mean, to be honest, I've got nothing to watch at the moment. I'm pretty stuck. I haven't even really got any films either. So yeah, I'll probably just watch another episode and see how I get on with it. But it is better than I expected it to be. Hopefully, Keith, that's the plan. You know, if it goes right and it catches fire, it's absolutely got the potential to do so. Now, that's an interesting one, James. Manhunt. Yeah, I never finished that game. That is probably the most twisted game I've ever played. I'll never forget when you stick the bag around the bloke's head. I was just like, how the hell did this get made? How is this allowed? I mean, yeah, it always makes me laugh because I never see on TV when they talk about violent video games anyone bringing up Manhunt, which is like easily the most sick game of all time. I mean, it's proper twisted. That's a good question. Yes, I have thought about it, Keith. I really like that, actually. I think I'm really waiting at the moment to see what happens with the Amiga Mini. If the A500 Mini is really good, I'm definitely going to be getting on that. But I would prefer a Maxi. But the problem with Maxis is where to put them. It's the room. I mean, I ain't got the space in here, to be honest. It'd be really difficult to, and like put them in the living room. They just don't fit in the living room with the rest of the stuff. But yeah, I must admit, I've watched videos on it, and it's very, very nice. Super Nintendo, hands down. A modern day version of a Super Nintendo would be absolutely incredible. Never happened in a million years, but that would be absolutely. Imagine if Nintendo completely say they don't bring a new console out for a couple of years, and Amico is really successful, and 2D is the future, and Nintendo come back with a brand new 2D console, or even if next year out of the blue they just randomly just go, right, our next console's 2D, and everyone's like, what the hell? And then it's a massive success. Yeah, not going to happen, but would be cool. That's another thing I love about Amico. It's 2D. You can't go wrong. Jack, boom. I remember the bonds you and your friends gained over working together in a hard game. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a scoremate did time splitters nice on hard mode together and respect you have for each other's prices. Yeah, and working as a team is a great. Even like when I played Halo with my best mate, I've said before, like he was the stealth guy and I was the action guy. So, I'd piss him off by blowing everything up. But occasionally we'd work together, like when you're fighting the flood or something, we try and work it out together. But you're right. I mean, things like that are really important. Even like when you have like puzzles, like imagine if you're playing like an Uncharted with a friend now and you could just sit there and solve the puzzle together instead of what I do, I get stressed out by it. So the working together makes all the difference. And, introduced alcohol makes it even more fun. Well, that's an interesting question. Which game console was most ahead of its time? Probably the Dreamcast. I think that came too early. I think they just, I think they missed out there, the opportunity. Those just weren't at the right time for the online gaming, which is a shame because it's a brilliant console. That's a good point, actually, Keith. I'll give you that one. Yeah, loading. I mean, I like the PlayStation 4 sound. That's quite nice. But yeah, I must admit, I like the days of when you turn an Xbox on or a GameCube or a PS1. There's something really nice about those. It's very nostalgic. I did hear about the Mandela effect. It's bollocks, but I've heard about it. Do you miss proper video game stores and arcades from back in the day? Yeah, I mean, I just miss that in general with shops, like even with films as well, going to rent them. You know, it's all this online stuff's great, but there's nothing better than being like we've still got game, but you know, it ain't any good, is it? They overcharge for everything, and it hasn't. I mean, I don't know. It depends on where you live. I don't feel that it has that same vibe that it once had. It's more about commercial and just trying to flog stuff to people. It'd be nice to have like you get with retro game stores. It'd be nice to have that vibe where you can go in and talk to people and have a bit of a community thing. That'd be better. But yeah, and arcades, absolutely, arcades would be incredible. I mean, they've got arcades down here where I am, but they're just mostly gambling. To be honest, they have like the occasional machine, like a proper game, but most of it is just like one-arm bandits, which is bollocks. Given how well the arcade is doing, are you surprised given how negative people can be about new systems? Are they really? And why have they done so well where others have not? I would say they've done well because they've got a good product. They got it out on time. The BS was slightly delayed, but nothing major. They've got a really good catalogue of games now as well, which I think makes it a lot easier to get on board. I mean, I wasn't on board at first with the handheld, but when you look at the collections they've got and the variety of games, I think that really helps. And most importantly, I think price point is their biggest plus. You know, the console's cheap. You know, as far as in terms of like compared to others in their market and other consoles that you can buy, as a gaming device, it's really cheap. The handheld's really cheap, and the games, you get a lot of games on a cartridge for like what it was. What was it, 15, 16 quid? It's now 17 or 18. They're going up to this year, which is still reasonable. And I think that's really what it is. It comes down to the fact that they're able to get the machines out on time, keep the games coming, keep people interested, and like they've done today with their marketing campaign on Instagram. I've got no idea what the hell that cartridge is going to be, but it's got everyone talking about it. They're very savvy with that kind of thing. The only thing I'd say about Blaze is they had a period where they were going on YouTube channels and there were a lot of Ryan and others were going on there and talking. I don't really see it as much now. They seem to have pulled back and they're doing the traditional gaming thing or traditional business thing. But then again, maybe that's not a bad thing, given the way the internet is anyway. Nice one, Keith. Well done, mate. That's really cool that you can do that. I mean, I don't know if it's any good, the PS1 Mini. I've not seen it, but yeah, I'm sure it's pretty solid. And Crash Bandicoot, you can't go wrong with that at all. Yeah, when I lived in Birmingham when I was a kid, I used to go to a place called Evesham Micros. And I remember they used to have like a bin of cheap Commodore 64, Spectrum, and Amstrad and that. And I used to get gems out of that. You know, they weren't, I can't remember how much they were, but they weren't expensive at all. Wow, that's weird. That's so random, Keith, that you even remembered that. No, mate, it went out of business decades ago. I mean, even when I was living there. It was called Video King. That was a long, long time ago. You know what, mate? I actually wouldn't have a full collection of any system. It never appealed to me because there's too many games I wouldn't play, like RPGs, for instance, and RTS games, and even games in genres that I do like. I wouldn't. There are games I don't want to play that don't interest me. So no, I can't see the point of a full collection. Although now I would say that probably the arcade carts for the Evercade would be the only exception, and that's not definite because they might come out with an arcade cartridge, and I think, well, I don't want to play any of those games, so it's not definite. But I would think that's probably the only chance that would ever happen. Yeah, well, good luck with that one, Jay. Jesus, that would be expensive. If you could pick up a new game to release on the Amico, no, pick a new game to release, sorry, on the Amico, what type would you want? What type? Oh, probably more platformers. I think they've only got Finnegan Fox. I could definitely do more platformers, more racing games, especially like because I love the look of Nitro Derby. I love all that top-down, like skid marks, supercars, super off-road, that kind of thing. So that'd be really cool to have more of those. What else would I like to see? That's a great question, actually. That's going to make me think now. I say, got platformer shooters, puzzle games, party games, sports games, recreational games. They got most of it covered, which makes it really difficult. That's really tough, actually, when I think about it. Because I say they have got most of the stuff on there. Yeah, I'll just stick with those for the time being, I think. That's an interesting thing. How would that work, though? I'm just trying to think, would you need a mouse and keyboard? Or you can play them, they've got console versions, don't they? Because Flashback and Another World are on Mega Drive. So, yeah, that should be that'd be a really interesting collection to have, that one. No problem, Keith. Good night, mate. Thank you very much for joining in. Game Station used to have bins full of random bits for a fiver each, like weird controls and accessories. Used to be excited beyond belief. And my granddad used to take me to Doncaster Market. Yeah, I remember like in Birmingham, next to the Odeon, they used to have a game station. It was one of the massive ones, and it had 2 levels. I think it was like modern upstairs, and all the retro stuff was downstairs in the cabinets and whatnot. That was a really cool store. That was. What classic mini console would you like to be released that hasn't already? Okay, so what we got? We got the NES, the SNES, PS1, the TurboGrafx / PC Engine. I'm sure I'm missing something there. Those are the main ones. Oh, the Mega Drive, of course, the Genesis. That's obviously got one. Dreamcast would be brilliant. I mean, I love the Dreamcast. The library on that console would be incredible to have as a mini, and especially if you could hack it and put the homebrew stuff on it as well. That would be absolutely superb. What else would work really well? I mean, a Saturn, if you can do it, or I don't know if they'd be able to do that or not. That would be interesting. Because again, if you can hack it, you can put all the Japanese Saturn games on it, which would actually be really cool when I think about it. So yeah, the Dreamcast or the Saturn probably be the main 2 I'd go for. But what I'd really love, actually, just for the Atari Jaguar. Because again, if you could hack it, you could get all the homebrew stuff. And the Jaguar is I just love the Jaguar shape, and I just love everything about that system. I remember you talking about the speaking joystick, which I like as well. Yes, a great joystick. Are there any other sticks that you would recommend? The Conix Navigator is good as well from the same people. My favourites have always been the Conix Speaking and the why is it just gone? Oh bollocks! What's it called? Oh, it's basically it's a green one, green base, yellow buttons, and a pink stick, and it's just totally blanked. It'll come back to me in a minute, but I can't think what it's called. That's the one I always when I get an Amiga and that I always use that stick because it's quite big and it fits nicely in the hand and it's really firm. Cruiser, that's what it's called, Cruiser joystick. Yeah, I was actually just in my head. I was thinking Xbox as well, but I thought, is that even possible? I don't know if they can emulate that or not on PS2. I don't know. I don't know what the emulation is on those. It'd certainly be interesting if they can do it though. I suppose with Xbox they wouldn't bother because they got backwards compatibility, haven't they? But oh, there you go. Nice one, Steve. Yeah, Another World, Flashback, Heart of the Alien, Fade to Black. I've never played Fade to Black. That'd be really cool. Future Wars, Operation stuff. Maybe not Shaq Fu. Did they make Shaq Fu? I didn't know that. Yeah, that's a bit random. Although they remade that recently, done in HD, it looked pretty reasonable. I have owned a Game Gear. That was during my collecting. It was all right. I thought the screen was terrible on it. You can't see it, but yeah, and it's got that cool TV add-on as well. But yeah, I mean, handheld wise, I've owned a few now. Like without collecting, I owned a Game Boy and PSP, a DS and a 3DS, and then when I was collecting, I had a Game Gear. I had a Sega Nomad, which was amazing. That big chunky thing, but that is an incredible handheld. I really love that actually. Did I have any others? I think that's about it. Then all I've not touched is the Vita, and I probably never will, to be honest, because yeah, it's not worth it just to play Uncharted. So there you go. All right. Well, what I'll do then, guys, I'll wrap it up because I think we're coming to the end now and it's getting late anyway. So it's probably better. But thank you, everybody who came in. Thank you for all the questions, as usual. I appreciate that, guys. It was a good stream tonight. I had a lot of fun with this one. But thank you all for coming. And, if, there'll be another stream at some point. I can't guarantee I can do them every week, but when I get the opportunity, I will definitely jump on. And before we go, one last question. I need to play number 2 first, but yeah, absolutely. Although it'll probably be on PS5, so I'm a bit knackered if it is. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. Have a good one and enjoy your weekend.